Like, here's some biological reality for you. You want to know this? The first video ever captured of humpback whales mating was just recently filmed, and they're both male.
Nice.
So the first evidence that we have
Is that
of
true?
humpback whales engaging in sexual intercourse is gay sex.
Humpback, huh? Yeah, they had to go real
Listen,
literal.
humpbacks
Yeah.
are mammals.
Yeah.
Humpbacks are intelligent. Humpbacks likely are gay. There's probably, if they exist in us, why would they not exist in other intelligent mammals that are on Earth with us, like dolphins? I'm sure there's gay dolphins. There's probably gay orcas. It's probably normal. It's probably, there's a percentage in every population that's gay. Who gives a fuck? The point is that, like, that guy's gay, right? And he claims that he was the predator, and everyone's like, oh my God, he's normalizing pedophilia. If he had just tried that today, it would have been a minor attracted persons issue.
He would be celebrated. I mean,
He'd be,
yeah.
But this guy was minor attracted, and I was a
He needs
minor,
to
and it
come
was
back
fine.
as a drag queen.
But he would say, like, now, if he, like, literally, in the amount of time from him being canceled to today, that statement is not nearly as controversial.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, and look, you don't have to agree or disagree with the statement. That's irrelevant. It's something that is within the bounds. Look, if you're calling for, like the Harvard example, the genocide of all Jews around the world, you should be banned from social media platforms.
Yes.
That is a prudent limit that I think we can all agree on. But on more nuanced issues or more, I mean, even if you take it at face value, I think he's probably going for shock value.
100%.
but
But
it's like,
also,
this
he
is a
was telling
crazy
an anecdotal story about how, and it was on another podcast that I believe he said this, that it plays a very important role in young gay men to have an older gay mentor. I have no fucking dog in this race.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do know that I feel very differently about a sexual predator that's a man that targets girls. Like, if I found out that a football coach was targeting young 14 and 15-year-old girls, I would be furious. If I found out a hot teacher, usually from Florida, with a push-up bra, was banging all the high school football kids, I'm laughing.
It's a little different.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I think those kids are going to be fine.
Yeah. They're going to be legends. Yeah.
A few of those kids are going to... Zach Galifianakis had a fucking amazing joke. One of them died. His friends high-fived him to death.
God, yeah.
I think that's Zach.
Yeah.
But
this is because people want to pretend that there's no difference between men and women.
right.
That's all it is. It's you
Right.
know, it's like everyone wants to pretend that's true. It's obviously not true. And of course, the football coach who's like a pervert going against with the young girls. That's a totally different scenario.
It is a different scenario. But also, the lady who's blowing all the high school football kids also shouldn't be a teacher.
Yeah. You
Get her out
fired
of there.
immediately.
Get rid of her. She should be doing porn or something.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's like, if he's talking about his life, and saying that this was his choice and that he wanted this, the issue is not with him. The issue is with the man who did that to him.
Right.
Right. So he's literally talking about his own personal experience. That memory hold him. It's not. He's not saying, hey, I should be able to go to high schools and pick up 14-year-olds because they want it. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're talking a different thing. Now
Yeah.
we're talking about a guy who's advocating pedophilia, right? This is different. He was merely talking about his own life. And that's how rabid everybody was to get rid of him. And it was, at that point, effective. And I think that became a problem. Because once it became effective, then they became emboldened. It's like the Alex Jones argument. When people say, yeah, ban Alex Jones. And everyone's like, hey, this is a fucking very slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because if you want to ban everybody who's made disinformation and put it out publicly, how's Rachel Maddow still on?
Yeah.
How is she still on? Everybody's seen that video of her talking about the COVID vaccine. That's insanity.
The government. I mean.
Yeah. How are they still on? I mean, how many different stories were incorrect? Not apologizing for what he did, what Alex did. He doesn't apologize for it. I mean, he apologizes for it, but he feels deep remorse that he did it. He's just like overwhelmed by it. But getting rid of that guy is a slippery slope. And no matter what you think about what he said. You can't support that. You got to let people sort it out. The way to find out if, let's say, he says there's a false flag and some attack somewhere, the way to find out if he's telling the truth is to have people investigate it. If you say that Operation Northwoods was a document drawn up by the joint and signed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff that was going to attack Guantanamo Bay and blame it on the Cubans to start a war, and you say that on your show, people go, you're a fucking crazy person. How are you allowing these? No. You have to be able to have someone come on and say, hey, actually, this is true. And then you realize, like, oh, wait a minute. Some conspiracies are real. And if you silence this one guy that calls out all of them because he fucked up on one, you're also limiting his ability to call out the ones that are legitimate. And you're talking about a guy who's doing this all day long, every day. That's all he does.
Yeah.
All he does is
and he's out there. I mean, he's an out there personality.
He's out there.
Yeah.
That's why he's fun. But he's out there talking about the World Economic Forum. I've said this 100 times, and I'll say it again. He told me about Jeffrey Epstein over a decade before anybody was in the news. He was telling me that there was this operation, and they take these guys, high-profile public figures, and a lot of politicians, and they compromise them with young girls. It's like, what? On an island? What is this? A fucking ABC after-school movie?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That sounds nuts. And then now everybody knows it's true. And there's been a ton of those from him infiltrating Bohemian Grove and catching these fucking wackos and heads of state burning an effigy in front of an owl god. Like, what the fuck? That's real? The video he did with John Ronson in the 90s. So it's like all of this stuff at a certain point in time, it needs to be out there. And people need to find out what's real and what's not real. What's real? And the only way to find out what's real is not to silence everybody who says something that's incorrect. It's to let people talk it out. So when someone gets on there and says the Earth's hollow and there's fucking aliens inside shooting laser beams, let's like talk to geologists and have them explain to you that they would be boiling in lava. Like, they don't live in the center of the Earth. We know what the Earth's made out of. We know all the planets. This is how we know. This is why we know the Earth is round, because every fucking body of mass, as it's spinning around, it takes on that fucking form. All the planets, every one of them. This one's not unique.
There's also an element of this is part of American folklore.
Yes.
If you believe that the world is flat, it's obviously false. Any thinking person will conclude that this is a ridiculous, crazy thing to believe. And yet having a group of, flat earthers in our broader society, provided that they're not like given power over, the NASA or something, adds texture and richness